Hi there. My name is Michael Bostar, and I really appreciate you taking the time to check out this video today. I'm going to try and be efficient. I'm going to try and make sure this is worth your while, and ultimately share some tools, tricks, and learnings that I've used over the years to help you accomplish your goals and build your dream life. That's why this is on the screen right now. That's what we're working towards, and that's what I'm hoping to create with the A-Team and the programs that I run and any client I work with ultimately. So a little bit about me to get started. To start, I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus, the unhappy triad as they call, playing a kids game while in college. That was an unfortunate experience. Surgery, rehab, year of my life, really dedicated to recovery and rehab. After graduating, I got rejected from a PhD application at UCLA. I was going to pursue a career in urban schooling, and when that didn't pan out, I had to really pivot sort of how I moved forward. I quit a dream job at a nonprofit to join a new team that after 4 months of getting degraded and called names and bullied, I ultimately got screamed at, was threatened by a coworker who said they were going to punch me in the face. I quit on the spot with no severance, no backup plan. And that led to a 2-year hiatus without a full-time job. This was in my 20s, the foundation of your career. So I was doing odd jobs. I managed my stepmom's chocolate shop. I did all sorts of things to hustle and make money. But ultimately, I did find a career path that worked for me. And I got laid off 4 times in 4.5 years. This is during COVID and beyond. But one of the roles actually only lasted 11 days, just over 2 weeks, before they said it wasn't a fit and let me go. So that's one way of presenting a little bit of who I am. But I also want to shift the narrative because on top of all that, I've also landed $600,000 offers without ever applying to the role through networking, connections, and just articulating the value I could add to a business. I've landed multiple $10,000 a month clients through my consulting business, which has turned into a successful group coaching program that I've been hosting for 2 years now with almost 70 participants over the 2 years, all of which have had an amazing experience. I charge some clients as much as $500 an hour for my business advisory services. I completed and paid for the entire fully employed MBA experience at UCLA while building my own business and earned $15,000 in scholarships during that time. I serve as the board president for UCLA Unicamp, the official charity of the students of UCLA, a nonprofit. I was invited to and attended 20 plus weddings over a 2-year span. I include that to say I maintain deep relationships with many people I love and show up for them consistently year after year, which leads to a 13-year relationship with my wife that I'm very proud of. We've been married 7, together 13 years. I purchased property in Long Beach at the age of 30 due to a discipline of saving and a real desire to own property and stop paying rent that was established in my 20s. And just this year, I ran a half marathon at an 8:40 pace. I'm 34, and I think that's pretty, I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. So all these things are just to say there's 2 different ways of presenting yourself. I wanted to present myself in both because I want you to see that there's multiple aspects to any given story. And for me, I've always been wanting to accomplish goals. You could say I've been very goal-oriented since a young age. This is a photo of me at the San Diego Zoo as a kid wearing a shirt that says goal-oriented. Been a soccer player my whole life. And I thought it was really appropriate because that is really who I am. I love setting goals. I've been thinking about setting goals, scoring goals, accomplishing things for a long time. And one of the patterns I noticed is that with goal setting, often we sort of enter this cycle. We start by thinking about what's next. Maybe we want to get a new job. Maybe we want to start a business. Maybe we want to run a marathon, get healthy, whatever it may be. So then we decide we're going to make the change. We're going to start. We're going to do something. We're going to start learning. We're going to start acting. So we put in some energy. We maybe run our first run, or we go to the gym, or we buy some protein powder. We start looking for jobs. And then we hit a roadblock. We tell ourselves that we get injured, or we run into some hurdle that's difficult to overcome, and we throw in the towel. And maybe you tell yourself you don't throw in the towel. That happens to me a lot. I say, oh, it's just on a pause. But if it's a pause, you're still at number 4. You're still hitting that roadblock and you're not moving on. So if you're not moving on, I guess that's a different way of saying, I haven't given up, I'm just postponing it. But you're postponing it till when? Right? These are the narratives that I've used and talked to myself over the many years. Maybe I say, I don't want it anymore. and you just convince yourself you don't want it. Maybe that's true. Maybe you're just not really working towards the things because you hit this roadblock, and so you're throwing in the towel. So I really became obsessed with, how do I shift this cycle? How do I break out of this? And my goals for this video is to share some of those. The first one is mindset. The second one is some tangible tools and sayings and phrases and lenses that have really helped me with goal setting. I want to light a little fire, encourage you to get started, honestly, today, hopefully by the end of this video, with thinking about how you can work towards the accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish. And then I'm going to invite you to the A-Team, this program I host, and has served lots of people. And if you get value from this video, you'd likely get value from the program. So to start with some mindset, you are not the voice in your head. You can call it consciousness, you could call it God, you could call it the angel and the devil on your shoulders. Whatever it is, these thoughts are coming from lived experiences, from memories, from what you are experiencing in a given moment, but they aren't necessarily you. You and your consciousness and you are different. And ultimately, you get to tell them what to do. Similarly, you get to answer this question. What kind of person are you? Are you someone who does X or not? If your actions say you don't floss, but you tell yourself, I floss every night, well, which is true? You get to ultimately decide, and you get to portray this vision of who you are. You could tell yourself you're someone who never follows through, or you could say you're someone who can do anything with focus. Similarly, you could say, I'm someone who gets distracted easily, and use that as a reason to not accomplish things. Or you could say, I'm someone who hasn't found the right systems. So you're still looking. You get to choose what this narrative is. You control your time. You control the narrative. I want to start with that as the foundation because it's key for working towards any goal you have in your life. So again, with my story, I bring this up to say, this is a mindset. Both are true. All these realities are true. I've experienced hardship and negative things in my life. So have you. We all will. Everyone is going to live many moments of stress in their life, many moments of setback. The question is, how do you frame it? How do you portray that to the world? I choose to own both. But I still lead in the foundation with this deep belief that I have accomplished so much more, as well as I have experienced many hardships. So to get into some practical suggestions with Goal Setting 101. First of all, SMART goals. If you've never heard this acronym, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I think it's a great foundation for goal setting. What are you going to do? How much? When? Do you actually think you're going to achieve it? Is it relevant to what you're doing? And when are you going to do it by? Soon is where things go to die. I'm going to do this soon. When is soon? Set a time and work towards it. But on the other end, I also love dumb goals. Dream-driven, uplifting, method-friendly, and behavior-triggered. This can mean I want to be a great wedding participant. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good daughter. Whatever it may be, this can be a dumb goal, but I think it's equally important. Ultimately, action alleviates anxiety. You want to work towards something? Start. Action will help you get there. Getting in your head will not accomplish anything. Action will, which leads to, if it's not written down, it doesn't exist. Start with a Google Doc. Start with a whiteboard. Start with a little piece of paper. Saying it's all in my head is great. I'm the master of that. I keep a lot in my head, and still, I live by this. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. Raise the floor. People love to set PRs, talk about the richest person in the United States or the world, right? But what are we looking at as far as the bottom? You want to go to the gym 5 days a week? That sounds like a great goal, but what's the worst day? What's the worst amount of times you're going to go in a week? Once? Can you make it so that you always go to the gym once? Can you make it so you always do something a little bit more than what you've done before? And I think that raising the floor is much more impressive and much more difficult and much more valuable when goal setting than raising the bar. Raise your floor just a little bit and have that be your focus. I also like to say, rather than live your life like no one's watching, live your life like everyone's watching. If no one's watching, I know for me, I'm sitting at home, I'm probably smoking some weed, I'm playing some video games, I'm chilling. But if everyone's watching, I'm waking up early, I'm getting my workout in, I'm getting my work in, right? We're creatures that like to show what we're doing to other people. Think about that a little bit and think, how can I live a life that I'm proud of, if I were to talk to people about? Similarly, measure what matters. What matters to you? Does money matter to you? How often do you look at your bank account? Do you say you don't have enough time? When's the last time you really audited your calendar and how you're spending your time? If you want to work towards something, you have to measure what matters. Work towards those goals by deciding what it is that you want to track. Everything is more fun when you're having fun. Try and prove me wrong on this. Doing dishes, working out, helping move someone else, all of it is more fun if you're having fun. You need to find a way to find enjoyment in setting your goals. And rather than seeing them as a drag, find a way to have them motivate you and excite you and enjoy the process of working towards these things. And last but not least, be easy on yourself. Everyone loves to say, I'm my harshest critic. But why aren't you also your biggest fan? You got to be both. Yes, it's good to be hard on yourself and push yourself to do these things, but you also need to give yourself a little slack and acknowledge that when you're working towards things, it's not going to go perfectly, and you got to be easy on yourself. So, next thing is, why don't we accomplish goals? Trust me, I'm the best negotiator with myself in the world. You're probably the best negotiator with yourself in the world. So I've gone through all of them. I tell myself things like, I'm too busy. Whatever that means. What am I doing with my time? Who knows? Not whatever it is that I tell myself is important. I don't have enough bandwidth. What another interesting thing. What is too much bandwidth? Where is that capacity? What is it that we can give? Because when we're giving happily, we can give almost endlessly, it would seem. The bandwidth piece really depends to what we're giving our energy towards. It's not the right time. When is the right time? As you age, you want to own a home, so then you own a home. You want to get a new job. Now you have a big, new, busy job. You want to get settled in that job. Well, now you're focused, right? The right time, it's such a nebulous space that I've never really been able to figure out when that is. We need to get settled. So now things need to settle. But then when they're settling, you're just going to get something else going. So that's what so you do like things moving. So if you want things moving and that's how you accomplish things, then why do you need things to settle? Because in my experience, things never actually settle. Maybe certain aspects calm down, but ultimately our ability to handle multiple tasks, priorities is a key to actually getting things done. And things never fully get settled. Too many moving pieces, a lot to focus on. Well, what's too many and what's enough? Have you thought about it? What is the amount that you can handle? I doubt you've actually put in the work. I never did. And these are things I tell myself that I've talked myself out. Well, I can absorb a little more. I can absorb a little more. What's the narrative that you're telling yourself? You don't want to let people down. That's real as well, right? We don't want to tell people we're working on things because we might let them down. But we also might let people down by not working towards these things and by not sharing our goals. Ultimately, if you are choosing your own happiness and your own motives based on other people's behaviors or thoughts, you're in for a long life of suffering and disappointment and hardship. That can't be a reason that we do or don't act on things. Or something's just too expensive, to which I would say, what are you spending your money on? What matters to you? Farmers market eggs are expensive. I only buy farmers markets eggs because I've tried them both now, and I'm concerned about what I'm putting in my body, and what's expensive to me now may end up saving me lots of money later because I don't have all these plastics and other things in my life, right? So too expensive is really, well, what's the priority? All these things are ultimately prioritization, and that's why I say do not give in to the tyranny of how. You start to work on something, and then you start to ask how. How am I going to fit this into my schedule? How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to work on this? And then we just say, we reach the throw in the towel, and that's what we do. And we convince ourselves we don't actually want it. You're ready to do this. The question is, will you commit to the accountability? It's just a key aspect of this mindset. So ultimately, shift your mindset, shift your life. Goal setting, it's a muscle that requires exercise. There's lots of different ways you can apply it, but you have to just do it. Write things down, raise the floor. These are all tactics that help you build that muscle. The right time to start is now. Similar to planting a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Now. So why is this A team set up the way it is? Ultimately, I started to do some research on goal setting. I found that holding a goal alone yields a 10% completion rate. I want to do something. Okay, you might. Then you decide I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You go from I want to I'm going to. Sure, that increases the rate a little bit. Now a 25% chance. still not the best likelihood that you're actually going to reach what you want. If you set a deadline, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it by X date. Now you're almost halfway there, almost halfway to the likelihood of completing it. But then you have to actually plan it through. Okay, you want to get it done by this date, but how are you going to go about doing it? How are you setting up your time? How are you shifting your schedule to accomplish this goal? And then you start telling people on Facebook, hey, I'm going to build this business. Hey, I'm going to be here at this date. Hey, I'm hosting this event on this date. Hey, I'm running this marathon on this date. Now we're at a 2/3 chance of doing it. But how do you put it all together? And how do you make it so that it actually really sticks? Accountability with regular check-ins, right? You're going to do something, you tell someone you're going to do something, and you check in week over week, day after day, whatever it may be. And all of a sudden, the likelihood increases significantly. Because now it's not just saying it, you're talking to people, you're holding yourself accountable, you're working towards these goals. Here's someone who's done this program multiple times and gone through this experience, Hannah. You can read through this, and it's on my LinkedIn page as well. But to highlight some of the key priorities, you know, she built a consistency. She moved. She's done more health and fitness activities than she has in years. She started journaling, reading more than ever. And then I love these two as well. Reducing her anxiety and depression meds, cutting back on drinking. And it's because, again, this is a group project and a group program. I love this as well. Found incredible network of peers, potential clients, and friends. Other people out there are working towards goals. I know you maybe don't talk to your friends or your peers about the struggles or the frustrations or what it is you're working on, but a lot of us are out there trying to figure this out and build a great life. So you're here, along with a lot of other people. You've envisioned what's next. You've decided to make the change, and now you're putting in energy so much that you either reached out to me, or you found this page, or you found this video. So let's put a little more energy in. Either pause the video real quick, or just listen and do it later. But again, if you're really about the action, pause the video. Take 2 minutes. I'll be here. I'll wait. But either way, write down 2 goals. Write down a SMART goal and write down a dumb goal. What's a SMART goal that you could get done in a week? And what's a dumb goal you could get done in a week? I threw some examples out there. Think about it. What is 7 days from now? What can you accomplish? 1 week. It's forever and it's no time at all. But I really recommend start today. What is something you can get done? I believe in you. Write something down. Go. I'm going to go to the next slide, but you should pause and write this video and then come back. So if you join the A-Team, that experience is what you get. I have a spreadsheet. I have tools. There's a whole workbook that you get every week, but ultimately it comes down to 11 calls. We start at 6:30 in the morning, PST, on Tuesday or Wednesday mornings. They're 1 hour long. You get access to me. Unlimited text and voice notes. You can text me, voice notes, whatever it may be. You get 3 scheduled one-on-ones. So we talk through your goals, talk through your priorities, and I provide you feedback, suggestions, resource, very useful use of time, focused on you and how it is that you're spending your time and how to actually reach your goals. You get structure, support, and accountability toward goal setting. Every week, you're going to set goals. 1 week later, we're going to ask, did you do them? Did you check? How did you work towards them? How can you improve your focus? How can you structure things differently to actually accomplish these goals? There's weekly video content, challenges, and lessons providing you with insights, tools, tips, and tricks as far as what may work, what may resonate with you. Again, other people are working towards this. You get paired up every week with someone else working towards their goals. Opportunity to check in, share a little bit, and discuss with someone else who's aware that you're working towards these goals and hold you accountable to reach them as you said you would. You get access to the alumni network of the 60 and growing people who have gone through this program and are happy to be a resource. Weekly co-working and office hour sessions that I host, sort of like body doubling. And ultimately, the most important thing, get to feel good about how you're spending your time, money, and energy. So as we work through this little circle here, I'm going to insert a little roadblock as you enter this journey. You've started thinking about what's next. That drew you to your call. You decided I'm going to change. That got you to go in here. You put in some energy. Maybe you even wrote down a goal and said, okay, what am I going to get done in a week? So I'm going to insert a roadblock, a common roadblock that impacts our goals and the way we're working towards them. But the thing is that you don't have to go through this cycle, because depending on how you act with this roadblock, you can actually shift this cycle and change it into one that is virtuous and continues to serve you, depending on how you react to this roadblock. Because you see, if you reject this roadblock and then you just commit and go and you say, okay, here's a roadblock, that's okay, I'm still going to move forward. Then the cycle continues in a whole different route. Rather than ending in step 5 just leads back into the next step, because now you're going and you start to envision what's next. You decide to make the change, put in the energy, and let me tell you, you're going to hit another roadblock. Whatever it may be, you're going to hit a roadblock. So the roadblock I'm going to insert for you, if you've made it this far and you're interested in this program and its work, is that there is an investment. For all this that you get, I do charge money, partially because it's how I make a living, partially because I know that investing in things is how you actually prioritize them, and you're here because you want to work towards a goal. The price I have at this is well below industry standards. I charge $14.95 for this 10-week program, and the 3 one-on-ones, and the workbook, all these tools that are readily available to you. But you've made it this far in this video, and you're checking out what I do and learning and doing a little research. So for anyone who's made it this far, I charge $995, $500 off the program, $1,000, $100 a week, basically. And ultimately, if you're interested, don't let money be the reason you don't participate. I say this clearly and with intention. People have paid less. People have paid nothing. If you want to participate, reach out to me and explain to me what's going on. I will work with you. I want people who are drawn to this sort of work and this community to participate. If this language, this rhetoric, this structure aligns with you, reach out to me. That said, if you think the price is right, I do too. If anything, I think the price is cheap. That's the feedback I get from most people. And if you go search around, they're going to be more costly than this. So ultimately, don't let money be the reason you don't participate. Join if you're drawn to this. You get to choose now. How are you going to react to that roadblock? So ultimately, to wrap things up, you watch this video for a reason. You're in control of your life. I invite you to start now. And ultimately, I'm rooting for you no matter what. If you'd like to schedule time with me, just type in that domain right there, calendly.com/happywemet. We set up a call and we talk about how you could join. I wanted to include this quote by Leila Hormozi. Most people invite you to parties, dinners, or drinks. Few invite you to do hard things that make you better. Value those people. They're rare. So I like to think of myself as a little rare because I'm inviting you to do something that's hard, fun, and ultimately will serve you and help you build that life that you know you're so capable of building. I hope I get to hear from you. Either way, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day.